Hi there, my name's Bryony and I'm the head of coaching here at Relish, and today we're talking about making it work, 10 long distance relationship tips from the experts. Number 1, doing things together while you're apart. Even when you and your partner find yourselves in different parts of the world, whether it's different cities, states, or even different countries, it's important to find ways to spend time together, even when you're apart. In this day and age of technology, it can be easier than you think to do things together from different places. All the online streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, HBO To Go, and whatever else you watch on provide hours and hours of content that you and your partner can binge together. Newer platforms like Netflix Party even allow you and your partner to sync your TV movie streaming so that you're watching together in real time. Watching things together is a great way to connect over new things, and it can be a great way to keep your conversations fresh and flowing. In addition to streaming things together, you can also challenge each other to online games. Facebook has plenty of games, who remembers Farmville, as do other sites offering games like Uno and 8-Ball Pool. There are also fun quiz games on BuzzFeed and other websites that you can take individually and compare. Another fun idea is to start a remote book club. Pick a new book that you've been dying to read, set a timeline, and then have discussions about it. If you're more of an active couple, you can also find ways to exercise together. There are plenty of apps on the market that let you share your exercise goals and achievements with each other, and there are even ways to compete remotely. Really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what movies you watch, or what games you play, or what books you read, or what exercise challenges you win. Doing these activities is about finding fun ways to connect to your partner despite the distance. Number 2, scheduling time to hang out. In addition to finding common activities to do, it's really important to schedule one-on-one time so that you can check in and chat, just like a regular couple. Relationship check-ins are extremely important for any couple, but are especially crucial for long-distance couples, where you're less a part of each other's everyday life. While it's always fun to pick up the phone and give your partner a call out of the blue, it's also important to schedule a chunk of time so that you can hang out for a while. Different interfaces like FaceTime and Skype are a great way to stay in touch with each other. In the time of coronavirus, new apps are coming out each day that make scheduling time to hang out even more fun and easy. Zoom, for example, is a really widely used platform to stay in touch that you might already be using. For those who are totally zoomed out after the workday, there are also things like Google Hangouts that you can use on your computer, and things like House Party that you can use on your phone to stay in touch. House Party was a personal favourite of mine at the beginning of the pandemic because it has games built into the video chatting app that you can play to help keep things lively. Embracing these different platforms and changing it up from time to time is a great way to maintain a healthy amount of communication and contact with your partner. Number 3, finding the right amount of communication. As we discussed, scheduling time to hang out together is a crucial part of maintaining an LDR. But it's also important to set boundaries that establish an appropriate amount of communication. If you're like me, you're not necessarily a texter, and the idea of being in constant communication, even with a significant other, sounds draining and borderline miserable. If you're not like me, you might love sending and receiving texts throughout the day to check in with your partner, or you might be somewhere in between. All this is to say that different people prefer different levels of communication, and it's important to discuss your preferences from the get-go to avoid swamping or neglecting your partner. The right amount of communication can also change monthly, weekly, or even daily, depending on your different schedules and commitments and level of stress. Being honest about your communication needs and preferences is super important, and if possible, you should let your partner know if you're going to be more or less distant because of life events. Number 4, go old school. Technology is making LDRs so much easier these days, being connected through phones, social media, and other apps, which can help maintain your connection and really make it a lot easier to be far apart. And while all this technology is great, you should also not rely solely on technology to stay connected. Writing letters can be a super romantic and more drawn-out way to stay in touch with your partner. While a text is great for immediate communications, letters can often capture deeper, more romantic feelings. The anticipation of writing and receiving letters is also a fun practice to indulge in during this age of constant communication. It's not necessary to write letters all the time, and it's definitely not necessary to use them as your main form of communication. That said, writing letters can add a fun dimension to your long-distance communication and can be a lovely surprise. Number 5, respecting the reason for being apart. There are 1,000,001 reasons that couples are apart, and most of them are not voluntary. Whether it's work, school, money, family, it's important that you respect the reason that you two are apart. A lot of the time we don't have much control over where we live, so making your partner feel guilty about not being near you is not a really helpful excuse. Sometimes couples are apart because they're in the early stages of their relationship. In these situations, it's extra important to respect the reasons for staying apart. You don't want to rush your partner to move to your city or to feel comfortable moving in with you if it's too early in the relationship. Respect that you're apart for now and try to make the most of it by creating ways to communicate and maintain or grow your connection. Number 6, setting boundaries. It's so important to set boundaries in any relationship, especially a long distance one. Going back to the concept of the right amount of communication, it's important to establish when good times to communicate actually are. You may really want to talk to your partner Friday evening right after you get off work so that you can recap the week, but they might be totally exhausted, or they might have a fun Friday night plans. Even though you and your partner are a couple, you have to respect that they have a life separate from you in their city, and they have needs that need to be met, like friendship and social. They have friends and obligations to attend to, and you should support them keeping up a normal life without you. Creating boundaries like Friday nights are for the girls or please don't call me during work hours is crucial to allowing you both to have lives outside the relationship. Establishing these boundaries requires clear and frequent communication. Creating check-ins regarding your boundaries is always a good idea, as they can and will change. Number 7, enjoy your personal life. Just like in a regular relationship, it's really important to maintain a degree of independence when you're in an LDR. Like we mentioned before, it's totally okay to spend Friday night with your friends and not on the phone with your long distance partner. It's important that you maintain a normal life, even if you are long distance. Doing things like spending time with friends and family and trying new things is super important because it helps you to maintain an identity outside of your relationship. It can often feel hard to make new friends when your partner's not there. After all, you don't want to leave them behind. But it's also really important to do things on your own, and you should encourage your partner to do the same. Being in an LDR can offer a lot of independence and free time that some people learn to love. Pick up a new hobby, try something new, keep learning and growing as an individual while you're apart. Getting out and doing fun things with people can also be a great way to distract yourself from the long distance, which can often be hard for some people to manage. Number 8, meet up. All the modern communication is making it easier than ever for couples to survive and thrive in LDRs, but no relationship should be entirely long distance. When you're in an LDR, it's important to schedule times to meet up with one another so that you can maintain a physical and intimate connection. Time and money are often huge constraints on how often you can travel, especially if you and your partner are very distanced. But it's still important to schedule one-on-one time together. Picking a date far in advance and buying plane or train tickets early on can save you a lot of money and make travelling to visit your partner much more manageable. Scheduling in-person time together far in advance is also great because it gives you something to look forward to during your everyday life. Knowing you have a trip planned is half the fun of going on a trip, especially when it means seeing your significant other for the first time in a long time. Seeing each other in person will help you to feel more connected, and it will help you to be more involved in their lives. Visit their favourite coffee shop, see their commute, meet their friends. Doing all these things will strengthen your connection and make the LDR possible in the long run. Number 9, talk about your future. When you embark on your LDR, it's important that you and your partner are on the same page about what the future holds. After all, there's no way you want to be long distance forever. You can plan as many fun visits as you want, and you definitely should, but at the end of the day, you need to end up in the same place. You may not be able to put an exact end date on how long you'll be apart, but you should still discuss how you want the course of the relationship to go. Creating a timeline can be a helpful way to chart out the future of your relationship and also establish an end goal. Will you be together once one of you finishes school? Do you hope to end up in the specific city? Are you applying to jobs in the same places? Discussing these big picture ideas at the beginning of your long distance relationship ensures that you're both on the same page and both working towards reuniting. Having a goal and timeline in place will also make it easier to be apart, because in the back of your mind, you know that it's not a permanent thing. Number 10, getting some help. Regular relationships can be hard to manage, and long distance relationships can often be even harder. LDRs require a huge amount of open, straightforward communication to properly work, and this can often be difficult to manage over the phone. Hey, it's hard to manage in person. It can also be hard to establish boundaries and the right amount of communication if you're doing long distance for the first time. Apps like Relish can help you and your partner navigate the tricky territory of long distance with expert advice from tried and true relationship coaches. Relish provides one-on-one personalised coaching that will help you set and meet your relationship goals. Relish also provides tips, tricks and testimonials that will help you and your partner grow your connection. Navigating LDRs can be difficult, especially if you already have a lot going on in your personal life. Turning to Relish's relationship coaches can help you navigate uncharted territory or address things that aren't going well in a supportive and loving way. Relish can help long-distance couples stay connected with interactive quizzes, unlimited one-on-one coaching, and more. I'd really recommend that you try Relish today and get a free trial for 7 days. Well, that's it from me for today. I hope you found this helpful and see you next time.